Plain and simple, if you know how price is likely to move in the future, you can profit from it very easily. Due to popular demand, I'm going to be recording some trades for Forex today. There's a lot of users with the Forex and crypto package, so I figure that I should be creating more content that can help you to use Stockminds effectively. So hop into Stockminds, head over to the intraday page, click on the options, futures, Forex, crypto button, and right now I'm going to trade gold. So here you go, zoomed in on the prediction from 750. Predicted to come up to 3,300, then spike back down. But now it is currently almost 10 a.m. So with these 5-minute candles, let's see how it ended up moving. So if I'm looking at 750, right about there, right at the bottom there, it then came right up to 3,300. So now from that point, it's predicted to come down. Come down to 3287, 329-ish. So the given entry for gold is 3290, 13, and the given profit is 3298. But if I'm looking at the chart, it's predicted to come up to roughly 3,300. Stop loss that's given is quite large. The stop loss that Stockminds gives is using what it has determined to be the most profitable for the trade. The likelihood of it stopping out is low, but most people are not. Either they would have to size in much smaller to their position, or they would need to adjust the stop loss to be smaller. So for most people, you can't have a drawdown of more than 5% for prop firm accounts and whatnot. So then what I will do is make sure that that is the case. So 3287, it looks like it's dipped down slightly lower than what it was predicted, but it came right down just as predicted. But if I do 85, that's about a 2% risk, which is very much doable. So there is my entry. Now in this instance, it's not a great trade because I have a risk that is about half the size of my potential profit if my profit is hit. So that's not ideal, but Stockminds does have quite accurate predictions for gold, and the movements they follow what Stockminds gives quite accurately. So I'm utilizing that predicted movement to make my trade. If I was able to enter it lower, closer to the bottom of that move, or if I was able to enter right when the alert came out at 750, then I would have been able to profit significantly more, had much tighter risk, or a much smaller stop loss. But for this trade, I'm just showing how you can utilize Stockminds to your advantage. The price movement updated to what it actually did in comparison to Stockminds. So it came up, went much further, and then came straight down. So although the exact candle did not necessarily line up with this specific movement, it still managed to hit that high point and come down to that low point. A little bit more advanced style of trading for these features, but if you know how a price is likely to move in the future, then you can most definitely use it to your advantage. Now these Forex, crypto, options, futures, these features on Stockminds are much more customizable. But once this trade is finished, I'll show you more details as to how you can request information, what you can request, and how you can get the most out of using these features on Stockminds. So right now I am about halfway up the move. My profit is 3,298, and it is predicted to come up to roughly this area before then coming back down. And to make sure that I protect myself, I'm going to sell half my shares just in case it doesn't quite reach the final sell price, and to protect my current return. Okay, let's cancel my existing orders. So limit half my shares. And to make sure I get execution, 9444. There we go. So I sold half my shares. So I've already realized $260 roughly of profit. If my stop loss is hit on the other half of my shares, I only lose 80, so I'm still up about 180. There we go. That was real quick. That was like, what, 20 minutes, 15 minutes or so? I bought, I sold, it followed the movement as given, maybe slightly offset time-wise. It was predicted to dip down to that point, and it ended up reaching the peak that was supposed to be hit beforehand slightly later, so the spike down, but it happened. And then it came back up, and I profited. You're essentially just using the movement that is given, how it's predicted to move, to your advantage. You know how it's going to move in the future, likely. Trade it accordingly. Now for what I was mentioning about requesting specific information that is most useful to you, what you can do is, if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, there's this little box that says, not quite what you're looking for. If you click request info, you're given these little boxes to fill out. You can enter the symbol that you want to trade. You can enter your desired time interval. You can enter how far you want it to predict into the future. So right now it does roughly 4 hours with 5-minute candles. So if you have 1-minute candles, maybe you want to predict an hour into the future. Maybe you want to predict 30 minutes into the future. And any other notes. If you want to start risking 2% per trade, or if you want multiple profit prices, you can request that, and then we will do our best to include that information for you so that you can get the most out of what is given. Because it does predict very accurately, so you can take advantage of it. So now for another Forex trade. If I do USDJPY, American dollar to the Japanese yen, because that one is a popular one. Very commonly traded amongst Forex traders. Have a pretty steady downwards move from that prediction, which is at 10.15. Taking a look, we're right at the beginning of this move. It's still at 144.45. So if I enter a short position from this point, because it's predicted to move down, it's predicted to move down to roughly 143.90. Then I can set that to be my profit. Again, these are our suggestions. As for my stop loss, again, I do not want to be risking a large percentage. So I can adjust my position size and where I set my stop loss to make sure that I'm within my risk requirements. So in this case, 3.36 stop loss is at 144.52. It's not really predicted to move up at all from that point. And the USDJPY predictions and trades that come up on Stockminds generally follow very accurately in terms of what the price is at the end of that 4-hour prediction. There we go, in the trade. So it moved down just as predicted. It is a little bit faster moving. So if I cancel the orders that I had in place and I sell half my shares or a chunk of my shares at this point to lock in some of the profits, raise my stop loss, or in this case lower my stop loss so that I am protecting my gains. Same as the trade that I did on gold. And then I set my stop loss to be 2 cents off basically from where I bought, right break even essentially. Right now you can see that I only have the one trade on my Stockminds account. It's only showing me a long trade, but it doesn't really make sense to go long if it's predicted to move down like this. So you can have it also show a short trade. So right now it's highlighting the short trade. It's got the red block around it. It would be a green block around long. So it didn't end up continuing downwards at that point, but we did lock in half our profits. So still a solid trade. There we go, executed. Still a $450 gain, not bad. Now, sometimes you're going to get predicted moves that doesn't really make sense to take a trade. Maybe it's essentially going to move horizontal. That's what's predicted. You don't have to trade that. You can wait for the next prediction or request a prediction for a given symbol, trade something else maybe. So that's how you can use Stockminds to trade Forex. Plain and simple, if you know how price is likely to move in the future, you can profit from it very easily. There are examples you can take a look at if you are curious. And again, you can request information if you would like something more specific. Thanks for watching.